Namaskar students. Myself Diksha Punjabi. Today we are going to study 35th, 36th and 37th unit of GK book of class 8th. So let's begin with 35th unit Historic Battlefields that tell us about the fields where the battles had occurred in our history and had become famous all over the world. So let's see the exercises given. So here are the few questions given and we have to write the answers. So let's begin the first one. Name the battlefield in which Sirajud-Dowlah army was defeated by the army of the East India Company. So that means Sirajud-Dowlah was the last Nawab of Bengal. So we have to tell the battlefield where he was defeated by the army of East India Company. The answer for that is Plassey. So this is famous as the Battle of Plassey. So the place is Plassey. Now the second is three of the most significant battles in Indian history have been fought in this place. Significant means important battles. One of these battles led to the establishment of Mughal Emperor in India. So what is the name of that place? The name of that place is Panipat. Third is, where did the Mughal Emperor Humayun and the Afghan Sher Shah Suri fight a war for the first time? So we have to tell the place where three of them fighted and had a war, which resulted in the Mughal Emperor's defeat. So that place was Chausa. This Chausa is a place in the district Buxar. It is in Bihar. Fourth is, where did the battle between the British East India Company and the French East India Company take place in 1760? So we have to tell that where this battle occurred, and it is the place called as Vandi Wash. It is in Tamil. All of you note down the answers fast. The fifth is, the siege of which town in Karnataka led to the final defeat of Tipu Sultan? So siege is basically, siege means घेराबंदी. तो घेराबंदी जो की थी जिसकी वजह से टीपू सुल्तान जो है वो बैटल हारे थे. तो where that occurred? The answer is Seringapattnam. This is a town in Karnataka. Now, next is, which historically significant site is the location of the battle fought between Rana Pratap Singh and Raja Man Singh? So, which place is that where they both fought the battle? That place is Haldi Ghati. It is in Rajasthan. Seventh is, on 17th May 1540, Sher Shah Suri defeated Humayun at which historic site? So we have to just tell the name of the place where they both fought and Sher Shah Suri defeated the Humayun. So that place is Kannauj. It is a city in UP. Kannauj. Last, eighth is, which place is believed to be the site of 18-day-long war mentioned in the epic, the Mahabharata? So, which place is being discussed in the Mahabharata? Exactly, it is a 18-day-long war and the place name is Kurukshetra. So, all of you just note down all the answers. I'm repeating. First is Plassey, second Panipat, third Chausa, fourth Vandiwash, fifth Seringapattnam, sixth Haldighati, seventh Kannauj, and eighth Kurukshetra. Now, let's see the next chapter, that is the 36th chapter, named Crafts of India. As we all know that India is worldwide famous for the Indian handicraft especially, since the ancient time. Some of the craft work are discussed over here in this chapter. So let's understand and learn about these handicrafts. First is, this special technique is used by Dangasiya community of the Surendranagar district in Gujarat to create beautiful fabric. So this craft is used by the Dangasiya community, and the name of the craft is Tangalia. So answer for this is Tangalia, and it is a hand woven shawl. So the answer is Tangalia. The second is, it is the art of painting a cotton fabric using natural dyes and a bamboo pen. So ये जो craft है basically is done with a dye and a bamboo pen. So it is famous as, the name you might all have heard, it is a kalamkari. So just everyone note down the answer of it. It is kalamkari. It is a beautiful painting. The next is, Pipli in Odisha is famous for this technique in which pieces of fabric are sewn on a base fabric. So Pipli basically is a town in Odisha. So it is famous for this craft, and with this craft is known as applique. Okay, so write down the answer fast. Fourth is, this embroidery technique originated in Kutch region of Gujarat. In this, a hook and silk thread are used to create patterns. So this craft is known as Ari Bharat. The next is, the name of this embroidery from Punjab literally means flower craft. So it is mostly and famous for Punjabi work. It is a fulkari where Punjabi used to wear it, and it is famous as the name fulkari. The next is, this embroidery technique uses gold and silver threads and sometimes precious gems like diamonds, emeralds and pearls. So basically ये जो है embroidery, ये golden and silver धागे से करी जाती है, जिसमें stones जो हैं अलग अलग diamonds और stones लगे होते हैं. Tell me, which is that embroidery? The name of this is Zardozi. Yes, it is known as Zardozi work. So it is done with the gold and silver thread. The next is, this embroidery technique originated in Kashmir. So it is worldwide famous as the Kashmiri work, and it is Kashida. Yes, it is Kashida. Next is, this embroidery technique originated in Lucknow, and it is worldwide famous as Lucknow work, known as the chikankari. So the name of this technique or this craft is chikankari. So these were some craft of India which are famous all over the world. Now moving towards the next, that is the Lok Sabha elections. So firstly, I would like to tell you about the Lok Sabha, which is the lower house of India's parliament. So before we move towards that, just let us read the content given over here. Conducting elections in the world largest democracy is no simple task. So all of us know that India is the second largest country all over the world, and conducting the elections is not at all easy. Every 5 years, millions of Indians above the age of 18 come together to exercise their constitutional right to vote for the party they choose to run the country. So, everyone knows that voting is a constitutional right of every citizen. Whosoever is above or is at the age of 18 has a right to vote, and everyone has the ability to vote, and they used to vote and choose their party. So here are some political parties symbols given. We have to just tell that which symbol is for which party. Like first, if I say hand is shown, so which party has the symbol hand? Yes. So I am telling you the first answer. The first political party that has a hand as a symbol of their party is INC, Indian National Congress. Second is Lotus. कमल का फूल भी कहते हैं इसे. So Lotus is the symbol for Bharatiya Janata Party, that is BJP. Third is clock. So Nationalist Congress Party NCP has a symbol clock as a political symbol for their party. Fourth is sickle and hammer. So this party is Communist Party of India, that is CPIM. So it has its symbol as sickle and hammer. Fifth is elephant as a symbol of the political party. So this party is BSP, naming as Bahujan Samaj Party. Eighth is twin flowers in grass. So the name of the party is All India Trinamool Congress, AITC. It has twin flowers in grass as a political symbol for their party. Next is bicycle. The name of the party is SP, known as Samajwadi Party. So these were few symbols for the political parties. Now after this we have the few interesting knowledge given over here related to the Lok Sabha and the elections. So let's see. It is given who can become a member of the Lok Sabha. So let's understand that who can become the member of the Lok Sabha if anyone needs. So the answer for that is any person who is a citizen of India who has the age of 25 or above can become the member of the Lok Sabha. So you all should underline this line. The person must be mentally sound and not be bankrupt or have any criminal proceedings against him or her. So anyone who is willing and is mentally strong and don't have any criminal record and is at the age of 25 or above can be elected as a member of the Lok Sabha. Now the next is given about the EVM. Basically EVM is electronic voting machine. So ये जो machine है ये जब लोग vote देने के लिए जाते हैं that is placed over there. So it consists of two main units. The first is the control unit and the second is the balloting unit. So what is control unit? So control unit is basically this is kept with the presiding officer in the polling booth. जो भी इंचार्ज है वहाँ का, ये जो है ये वहाँ पे रखी होती है. And the second is balloting unit. So this unit is where the voters poll their votes by pressing the blue button. जो भी उन्हें कैंडिडेट जिसको भी वोट देना है उनके सामने. So on the top of the box is a list of the candidates and their party symbols. And एक बॉक्स होता है जिसमें मैक्सिमम 16 नेम्स दिए होते हैं. एंड अगर ज्यादा कैंडिडेट्स होते हैं तो उसके लिए एक एडिशनल बैलोटिंग यूनिट रखी जाती है जो कि अटैच की जाती है कंट्रोल यूनिट से. सो वन कंट्रोल यूनिट जो है वो हैंडल करता है मैक्सिमम ऑफ 4 बैलोटिंग यूनिट्स. सो ये बैलोटिंग यूनिट्स एंड कंट्रोल यूनिट्स जो हैं ये 2 मेन यूनिट्स हैं ईवीएम जो कि इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वोटिंग मशीन्स की है. नाउ द सम फैक्ट्स आर आल्सो गिवन ओवर एयर रिलेटेड टू द इलेक्शंस. एज फर्स्ट इज द इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया जो है एक ऑटोनॉमस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अथॉरिटी है जो कि एडमिनिस्टर करती है पूरा इलेक्शन प्रोसेस इंडिया के अंदर. मिनिमम वोटिंग एज जो है इंडियंस के लिए वो है 18. जो इलेक्शन है लोकसभा का वो हर 5 years में होता है. इन 2019 जो है 17th लोकसभा जो है वो इलेक्ट हुए थे और जो लोकसभा है उसमें 543 इलेक्टेड मेंबर्स होते हैं जो कि पार्लियामेंट्री कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज के अकॉर्डिंग है. एंड 2 नॉमिनेटेड सीट्स जो हैं वो रिजर्व की जाती हैं फॉर द एंग्लो इंडियन कम्युनिटी के द्वारा, मेकिंग इट टू अ टोटल ऑफ 545 मेंबर्स. उत्तर प्रदेश जो है उसके पास सबसे मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज हैं जो कि 80 हैं. एंड महाराष्ट्र जो है उसके नेक्स्ट है, मीन सेकेंड हाईएस्ट नंबर ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज जो कि 48 है. सो दिस वाज ऑल अबाउट द लोकसभा इलेक्शंस. थैंक यू.